guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics Shera action figure. The Princess of Power and twin sister of the most powerful man in the universe has finally arrived. But was she worth the wait? Let's jump right in and take a look. Shera comes boxed inside the standard white mailer, bearing her name and the Masters Classics logo. Inside the mailer is the standard Masters blister card packaging. It's worth noting that Shera comes packaged with her classic toy-inspired head. Just as with Adora's box, there's a sticker on the front of the blister featuring the Princess of Power logo. And tucked away just behind it, you can see the figure's alternate head. The back of the card gives us a glimpse at several other figures from the line. And of course also featured is a new bio for Shera. Now the first thing I have to say about this figure is that the sculpt is absolutely beautiful. She's literally gorgeous. Just look at her face and you are immediately transported back to the classic animated series. It's an amazing interpretation of the character, and I really have to give it to the Four Horsemen here. The paint job is also very well done. The white dress, accented by the metallic shine of the golden boots and details, really make this figure pop. Now the skirt is not made of a really hard plastic, but it's not really soft either. The waist underneath the dress is capable of turning, but the skirt really does hinder the leg movement, so you're not really going to get any wide stances out of her, and you're not going to get her to sit very easily. Which, to be truthful, has me a little bit worried if we ever get a swift wind. I'm not exactly sure how she's going to sit on him. Shera includes several weapons. First up is the infamous Sword of Protection. The sword is the exact same sculpt as the one that we got with Adora, and utilizes the same type of gem. Only this time around, the sword is a two-tone gold rather than silver. Here's a look at Shera's many swords from her various action figures over the years. Now, since Shera's sword was actually silver in the old animated series, some may choose to pose her with Adora's sword. So here's a look at her holding that one. And just for fun, here she is holding the 2000X Shera sword. Shera also includes a shield. It is very much in the same style as the shield that came with the classic action figure, complete with a gem in the middle. Now here's one interesting note about this shield. The classic one could be held by the original Shera figure on the front of her arm, with her arm down to her side. The box art depicts this new Shera figure holding the shield the exact same way. But in reality, the shield features two prongs that clip onto the side of her arm, only allowing her to hold the shield sideways. There is no swivel piece, and the shield does not stay on long ways. So unfortunately for those hoping to display her like the classic figure, it's not gonna happen. And lastly, she includes this interesting battle axe. If you can't already tell, this small axe is a hilarious homage to the classic comb that came with the original figure. But since this new Shera's hair is made of plastic instead of being rooted, This is definitely not meant for brushing her hair. Yep, it's just a battle axe, not a brush. Now on to the heads. Shera includes both a head based on the classic action figure and a head based on her more iconic animated look. Alright, so while we're on the subject of the double heads, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this one so you can see how the tiara works. Now the figure comes with this classic style tiara, very similar to the original figure. As you can see, it could be worn over the face like a mask, or we can switch it around so that it's around the face. Now the way this particular tiara works is actually by a small peg stuck to her forehead. So as you can see, this leaves a big gaping hole in the middle of her forehead when we take the mask off. I know, it's kind of odd. It makes her look a little funny when you've got the tiara off because you've just got this giant hole in her forehead. Unfortunately, with her having the hard plastic hair, I really don't know how Mattel could have done it any other way. The clips would have been too big and wide and probably would have been hard to clip on, so I don't know. I think it's a decent option, but again, we're stuck with this giant hole in her head. Regardless, the peg does fit nice and tight, so you don't have to worry about the tiara just falling off. And when you want to switch it, it's as easy as just flipping it around and pressing it in to give you the alternate look. So aside from having the giant hole in her head, the feature does seem to work rather well. Now taking a closer look at Shera's head, I do have to say that the long hair is a little stiff. It's not terribly stiff, but it does limit your articulation. As you can see, going from side to side is slightly prevented by the long hair. It does go over her arms, but you're really not getting a very wide range of motion. And just like all the other girls in the line so far, the up and down motion is not that great. Which brings me to another point. You guys need to be very careful with Shera's head. Just like with the goddess, it scares me switching this figure's head. It's very hard to pull off. It's even harder to put the new head back on. Very hard. I mean, I seriously have to struggle to get this thing to pop in place. And, once again, we have a little bit of a bobblehead issue going on. As you can see, I've got this thing pushed down as far as it's going to go. It's not just falling off, but we've got bobblehead. So it's something you do want to be very careful with. I love the fact that we have interchangeable heads, but I have to be honest when I say that changing the heads on all the female figures scares me. So just be a little forewarned about that. And one last thing to look at her articulation. The dress is made of a little bit of a softer plastic, but it's not super soft. It is still a little rigid. She's got waist articulation under the dress, and as you can see, you can turn her waist with the dress folding over her legs, but it's still not going to give you a really, really wide range of motion. But it's good to know that you can at least turn it. With the big hole in her head, anyone wishing to display Shera without her tiara may be out of luck. But in case you're curious, here's Adora's head on Shera's body. The skin tone is slightly different, and her hair is much shorter. Okay guys, it's comparison time. Here's Shera alongside her classic counterpart. Quite a difference, and we made the jump from a doll-like figure made for little girls to a full-on action figure. And here she is next to the 2000X Shera, which, wow, it's quite an amazing difference if you ask me. The hole in her head and the stiff skirt preventing leg movement may be a bit of a downer, but the overall sculpt and beauty of this figure is nothing short of impressive. Overall, I think Princess of Power fans will be very happy to add this one to their collections. Shera hits MattyCollector.com on June 15th, 2010, and you know she will sell out lightning fast. Until next time.